A U.S. Marine now charged with the murder of an escort in Pensacola. He remains in the Lee County Jail in Alabama tonight, awaiting extradition back to Escambia County. Today, investigators say they have evidence the murder was planned. 20-year-old Willie Ellington will be charged with first-degree murder when he's returned to Northwest Florida.
Today, deputies say Ellington researched the crime before ever meeting the victim, 26-year-old Tshey Bennett. WER's Samantha Servant joins us in the studio with information revealed in the search warrants.
Yeah, Sheriff Chip Simmons says there's no way this wasn't a premeditated attack. He says Ellington Google searched information on how many prostitute murders go unsolved.
This is a heck of a case. It's disturbing, chilling.
This story starts in a hotel room just off Davis Highway. 26-year-old escort Tshey Bennett last seen December 13th. Deputies say she was meeting 20-year-old Marine Willie Ellington at Sweet Dream Inn.
She was reported missing, I guess Saturday evening by family and friends because it was suspicious that her phone had been turned off while there was still battery power left in it.
Inside her hotel room, evidence immediately made investigators suspicious.
The door was left open, her car was left in the parking lot, the phones were left in the hotel room. There was a cord, a PlayStation type cord that was found in the room, and the bedding from the bed was missing as well.
Sheriff Chip Simmons says his team worked the missing persons case as a potential homicide, obtaining nearly 10 search warrants. Their efforts taking them across the bay to Alabama.
When we found out that he had been to the Mobile area, our investigators again did a good job of tracking that area, and unfortunately found the victim that was discarded. The body was discarded in an abandoned neighborhood and in a ditch or water type retention area over in Mobile.
While we don't know yet how Bennett died or exactly when, Mobile police did confirm one thing.
That the death did occur in Northwest Florida, so the death did not occur here in Mobile.
But why kill the young woman at all? Simmons says Ellington's phone records revealed a possible motive.
We found out that prior to his meeting, he had Googled things like what does a body look like, a dead body look like after 2 days? How many prostitute murders go unsolved? Does someone scream if they're being strangled?
Ellington is currently an active duty Marine stationed at NAS Pensacola, but deputies didn't find him there. He was arrested in Opelika, Alabama, the city next to Auburn. Because Ellington allegedly took Bennett's body across state lines, there is a chance he'll face federal charges. And coming up at 6, Sheriff Simmons addresses some heat his department is getting and why it was vital for them to include that Bennett was an escort. In studio, I'm Samantha Servant.
All right, so I wanted to talk about this after seeing a lot of back and forth, which kind of centered around the type of work that this young lady was involved in. And while it's important not to blame the victim, you still have to recognize the reality of what can happen and what has happened to a lot of people who are involved in this type of lifestyle and that type of work. You know, there are people like this guy that are walking among us, and you don't know what's going on in their minds, and you don't know what they've done, and you don't know what they're planning on doing. And with doing that type of work, you're bound to run across somebody weird at some point, and you just never know how far they'll go until it's too late. And even though things may seem cool at first, these situations can have a way of turning deadly very fast, not just for the escorts, but also for a lot of the people who are customers. There have been stories of people who are customers of these escorts or prostitutes where they get set up, robbed, and even losing their lives. And then you can't forget about the potential of contracting STDs. So it's high risk for all parties involved. And, and for some who are escorts, I think they are aware of the dangers that are out there. But I think what gets a lot of people is that that draw or rush of getting fast and easy money, not fully realizing that they're leaving themselves open and vulnerable to predatory behavior. And sometimes that fast and easy money, it comes with high risk, which can lead to making bad decisions. But no one deserves to lose their life or their lives over, making a bad decision. But with this guy, I mean, I honestly, I think this guy was possibly a serial killer in the making. And I think he had some kind of weird obsession and fantasy with taking someone's life, and may have come to the conclusion that just because she was an escort, no one would come looking for her, or no one would care about her. But then, I also saw a lot of people mentioning violence that occurs in the workplace at regular jobs, saying that you could lose your life working at a regular 9-to-5 gig, or you can lose your life as a business owner, working somewhere, or just walking down the street in your neighborhood. And to that, I have to say that there's a big contrast between those things and working as a prostitute or being a customer of a prostitute. We're all surrounded by the potential of violent things happening to us every day, but being involved in that profession or associated with it, or a consumer of it, your proximity to violence increases. So again, I'll say this, you shouldn't lose your life over that, right? So I agree that regardless of what this young lady was doing, this guy was the cause of her demise at the end of the day, and he'll have to answer, for what he's done. But at the same time, we can't just ignore and act like what she was doing didn't play a role in her demise either. And just pointing that out, it's not being judgmental. I think it's just a thing of where when people point that out, they're just shedding light on the reality that it's a dangerous and a high risk profession, right? So this should serve as a reminder when it comes to that kind of work. It's not all glitz and glamour as some may present it to be, especially on social media, because I know there are a lot of people who glamorize that lifestyle, but they don't tell you the about the dark side of things, or when things go left. So y'all take care, stay safe, and just make better choices. Peace, y'all.